I was coming out of a meeting and I decided I wanted to grab something to eat. So I went into one of these beautiful markets that are here in New York, where they have fresh vegetables. They sell a variety of things, flowers, all sorts of things. And I went in there. And while I was there looking for something, a young man came up to me and said that, in fact, he had a baby carriage with him. He came up to me and he essentially described some circumstances. In effect, he needed some money in order to buy something to feed the child. And I looked at him, and he looked like a great young man. I was sensitive to him, and I immediately opened my wallet and I gave him some money. And as I continued to walk around the market, I realized that what he had described to me that he was going to do, which was, buy something, he wasn't doing. He was kind of milling around and looking a little suspiciously. He didn't look to me like a person that was concerned about feeding his child. And so I watched him for a few minutes, and after about 10 minutes I realized he wasn't taking any action on purchasing what was in his basket. I said to him, I thought you were going to buy something, for your child. He even, when I gave him money, he said to the child, say thank you. And I realized at that moment that there was something that didn't make sense in his story. Now, I don't know whether he was completely fabricating that or not, but I do know that he didn't appear like someone who was driven to feed a baby. He just didn't seem that way. I left that market. I didn't see anything I wanted, and I went across the street, and I sat down in this little cafe. I ordered something, and they had a little takeout section, and another man came in, and he was smiling, and he said hello to everyone, said hello to me. And I thought, wow, what a great personality this fellow has. And before he left, he was leaving me, walking by, and he said, would you have a few dollars? I want to buy a beer. And having just gone through the other situation, I didn't want to give him any money. I just was not in the mood, because I really felt like I had misread the gentleman beforehand. And then the gentleman said to me, well, I could steal it, but I'm asking you. And I said no, I it's not something I can do today. And he said, okay, thank you, I appreciate it. And he left. And I thought about all of the encounters I have in a given year with people in similar situations. I remember I would get on a train and there would be a woman who would give this extensive story about how she only needed a few more dollars to get to Long Island. And then one day, I was going to Westchester, and I saw her come on a train on Westchester and say, I need a few dollars just to get back to Westchester. And I realized that this was just something she was doing. What I'm saying to you is, I look at these individuals and I think, wow, what great personalities. They're persuasive. And of course, I think of them as, wow, you could be a salesperson. You could be an entrepreneur. You could help a business grow. There are so many people out there like that who, if they would just channel their talents, their abilities, their communication skill, their humor, their presence, if they could just channel it in a new area, they can make money doing it. I remember once watching a documentary about a drug dealer who had built this enormous organization and was making enormous sums of money and had it structured like a corporation. And I thought, my goodness, he was a young man. Look at what he could have done in a real business. So while you might not be someone who is panhandling, someone who is trying to persuade someone to give you money for whatever reason, there might be something that you are excellent at, that you're underestimating, that could contribute to your career and could contribute to your business. There are a lot of folks out there who are really funny, for example, that could work really well in your efforts to sell, in your social media presence, in your presentations, can work really well. There are lots of people out there who, even things like great penmanship could be used very effectively in marketing. There are people who have a great design skill and artistic skill. They can look at the way something is set up and framed and decorated, and they could use that skill more effectively. There are people who have great skill at cooking and all sorts of other things, and they could add that element to whatever they're doing. They could add that to their business. A friend of mine, probably watching this now, I suggested to him that, your skill is your personality. You know how to connect with people, and they warm up to you, and you should really teach that. And he dismisses it as not being valuable, when I think it's one of the most valuable things that he has to offer, and he could do so well leveraging that, marketing that, and helping people with that. Because there are a lot of people out there who are good at lots of things, but might not have the normal personality and charm and so forth. So I want you to really think about, what is it that I am underestimating? A skill, a talent, a perception, an ability that perhaps, if I integrated it into my career, built it into my business, and more assertively use this to carry me forward, I could be successful at. The comedian Kevin Hart is someone who, while he always thought of himself as humorous, it was really other people who said, you're a funny guy, you should enter a competition. I think he was working in retail, and realized, wow, I think I could do this. And of course, once he committed to doing it and decided he wanted to do it, many people said he was not good at it. I think he's probably worth $150 million now, and has made an enormous amount of money in recent years after several decades of going at it. Even one person who worked in a comic club called him aside and said, I know you want to do this, but I don't think this is going to work for you. You really need to find something else. So my point to you is that not everyone will see it, not everyone will value it, but if you are inclined in a certain way that could be built on, that could be could blossom. And all of these things are things that make you individually more valuable, makes your business more valuable, adds dimension to what you're doing, can serve as an attractor. These are the things that distinguish one brand from another. And so often it's something that is already there. It's an asset that's already there. It isn't, you don't have to find the clever thing to do, the tip, the unusual thing. a lot of people talk today about being authentic and being yourself. And in some ways, that's a generalization that I don't really like, because it could cause some people to put the wrong authenticity out there. They'll put their worst out there. Say, hey, I'm authentic. This is who I am. When in reality, there's some excellence that you could put forth that is already there, that you just have to build on. So I want you to explore that, to think about that, ponder that a bit, and take that seriously. Just like the young man that I met in the market, the other man I met in the cafe, the woman I would see at the train station. They all have skills that they're using, persuasive skills. In some cases, acting skills. If you use that skill in another way, that could be a money-making skill. It could be a business-building skill. You have a money-making skill, a business-building skill that you are not bringing forward and you are thinking is minor, but it's major. And that's the thing that is going to help your business and help you reach new levels. Think about it, value it, build on it, and share it with the world. If you like this tip, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Share it with people you know out there who you think could benefit from this. There are a lot of people who have skills. Maybe they don't want to start a business. Maybe they're not in some high-end marketplace. Maybe they're not in tech or these various areas, but they need to hear this message. Share this with them. And make sure you subscribe to my channel. Sometimes people watch, but they're not subscribed. I hope you're subscribed. That lets me know that you're supportive of this, and it enables me to have the momentum that I need to share this with others. I've got a lot more coming, and I look forward to seeing you next time.